Hey guys, welcome back to Glomsky Commerce. I actually just finished up a podcast on wholesale, and I wanted to make just a brief video kind of giving a recap of some of the tips that we gave. This YouTube channel is all about e-commerce. We focus on private label, wholesale, as well as drop shipping. Our podcast is actually the exact same theme, except for a buddy of mine that I work with. He's a business partner. He joins me on that, and we have some fun banter, and it's a good time. If you want to check it out, we're on most of the major, Spotify, Apple podcasts. I think we're on iHeartRadio, but it's called the D&B Show. D for Drew, B for Brandon. I am Brandon, he is Drew. And then we also have a YouTube channel for that. That's super new, just like this channel is. So check those out, like and subscribe to those channels too. And yeah, so today's topic was basically wholesaling on Amazon, wholesaling on Walmart, what it is, why you should get into it, what it takes to get into it. I actually have 5 steps outlined that I'm going to share with you guys, as well as some tools and some tips that I'm going to share too. So let's jump into my computer. We'll get into some good stuff here. All right, so we are here inside of actually the podcast notes. I'm just going to use that for my own reference. But the questions that we were looking over is, what is wholesale? What process do we use? Why do we recommend it? How much money does it take to get started? And what challenges are there for wholesale? Essentially, wholesale is buying stuff in bulk and then reselling it. The average price per unit, generally, you're looking at 50 to 70% off. It really just depends on where you're getting it, whether it's a distributor or directly from a brand. That's always the best route to go, is with a brand. That's also the hardest route to go because, not every brand is willing to work with, especially Amazon and Walmart sellers, because of the negative things that have happened, experiences that they've had or stories that they've heard from sellers that just don't give a crap. And they've kind of ruined it for the rest of us. Personally, what I do not do, I don't do pallets, I don't do mystery stuff, I don't do lots where you don't know what things are or what condition they are in. I only sell new items because I like predictability. For my mental health, I need to just be able to look at numbers and know approximately what I'm going to get out of every action that I take. And that's the beauty of wholesale, is for the most part, you can do that. So I wanted to mainly just outline our process. That's why I put this video together for you guys. It was my favorite part of doing the podcast. So I'm like, I'm going to share this on YouTube on my channel as well. So step 1 of the process is you need to identify brands that can be bought at wholesale, whether this be on Amazon or on Walmart. And I'm actually not going to include my process to do this in this video because it's a long process. It takes a lot of time to do. I've made videos in the past and I'm like 35, 40 minutes in before I finally find, something of value, showing the method that I use. And there's several other methods. Once you found one, it gets easier to find the next and the next and the next. But one recommendation that I am going to make, and this is going to take you way further than just software, right? Nothing beats an in-person relationship. Like, not just like sending a message, hey, can I buy and resell your stuff? Everybody's doing that. Everybody's done that. But introducing yourself, letting them know who you are and what you do and why you can help them. What are you going to do for them? That's going to take you so much further than just being the classic wholesaler that's kind of ruined the reputation, especially on Amazon. Walmart's kind of a new game for everybody, so I love that. I'm finding that there's actually more opportunity right now on Walmart because prices seem to be actually a little bit higher, and the barrier to entry to get onto Walmart is just so much harder. And so you have less competition. You have fewer sales that are happening, but because you have such less competition, really sometimes there's more sales that you can get as an individual or a small company on Walmart versus on Amazon, which there's a lot of saturation there. So a recommendation that I'm going to make, think local. Think in my city, in my town. What is a company that exists, a brand that exists, something unique, something that maybe you use or that is common that's not on Amazon, or that it perhaps doesn't have a great appeal on Amazon yet? I actually am in the works. This is going to be like an exclusive thing with this brand. They just moved not even a mile from my house, which is so convenient. And I knew the guy. We were home brewers. I used to buy my beer equipment from him. So we were chummy before I even got on Amazon, and I didn't know they were trying to get on Amazon. But it's something I'm going to help them out with. But they're a nut company, and their imagery is terrible. They're trying, they're just not doing a good job. And I tease them a little bit, but like that's a golden opportunity where I'm able to just be like, hey, this is what I've been doing the past several years. Here's some examples of what I've been able to do for other brands. Let me help you out. And initially, it took a little bit of work. You've got to kind of make sure that pricing is right. That's probably one of the biggest obstacles. But the trust that exists, the trust that already exists before you even throw out that question, like, hey, can I sell your stuff? That's so powerful. So just try to brainstorm locally. Is, a soap shop, any type of local beauty places, do they have any of their own stuff? It could be, grocery items, but that, it gets a little trickier there. But just, try to think outside the box there, but think local. That's one suggestion I have for you. So step 2 here is if you're just going online, let's say you can't do that. You need to establish relationships with brands. We just talked about that a little bit. And so if you go the route of just filling out forms, you might find stuff that everyone else is going to find. That's okay. You can make some money off of that stuff. Your margin's going to be a little slimmer, but that's what people do. That's okay. But again, the best thing you can do is have that personal touch. If it's, a brand that states away, maybe just a phone call, or set up a Teams or a Zoom meeting or something just to introduce yourself, because that's going to get you even further than just signing up. Well, let's say you've done all that. The next step is going to be either getting a price list from them, which is the most convenient, but that's not always going to be accessible, or you need to make one yourself. So with this price list, if they provide it to you, it's probably an Excel or a CSV file. I've had some where they literally put an Excel format like in an email instead of sending the file. And that's just, I want to pull out my hair. It's not fun. But basically, what are their products? What are your costs? That's what you need to know. And then you can use something like Scan Unlimited, which will basically run the numbers from Amazon compared to your cost, figure out what's profitable and what's not. You need to basically make a list of what is profitable from the items that they sell. Now, one of the suggestions I'm going to make to you is don't just look at what can I make a big ROI on? What can I make a big margin on? It's okay to look for ones that are break even, and I'm going to explain why, or ones that are even under break even, like you would lose money if you bought them. Keep an eye on those. Put those in that spreadsheet, and I'll explain why. So a lot of suppliers, they have bulk deals. So, their minimum order quantity might be $200, $250, whatever. Maybe it's $1,000. I don't know. It's different with literally every single one. So some have tiered discounts. If you spend $1,000, you get 5% off. If you spend $2,500, you get 5% off and free shipping. If you spend $5,000, you get 10% off and free shipping. Those are actually very common. And so items that are not profitable, just buying the minimum amount, if you have a big enough order, potentially there's actually profit to be made there. Okay, so that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, it has to do with shipping. And we do, I'm just going to share this with you, Mommy Income. The Amazon Files and Mommy Income is the brand. Basically, they have a course teaching you how to do wholesale bundling. It's called the Poor Man's Private Label. I'm a huge fan of that because it takes the barrier to entry for wholesale and it just brings it way down so that you can get involved with less money and you can do wholesaling with an advantage. And it's super cool, the process that they have. They have different events and stuff, but that's all I'm going to share with that. But essentially, items that aren't necessarily profitable on their own because of the competition, if you're able to bundle that with other items, your shipping a lot of times for 2 items or 3 items is virtually the same as it would have been for 1 item. And so all of a sudden you've created a margin that didn't exist on its own, but now you have items together. And if you sell them as a bundle under your own listing, you buy your own GTIN, create your own listing, you're able to have that advantage. And so that's something you want to be able to identify those opportunities for. You've done all that. You have all of your products here in front of you to see what potentially you can buy. Now it comes down to actually making a purchase plan, making the decision to go forward with a purchase. What do you do? Step 1, set your budget for that supplier for that time period, whatever it is. If you're making purchases for a month, or maybe you have 5 different suppliers, either figure out what am I spending for the month or what am I spending at each supplier. Figure that number out first, and then you're going to work backward from there. Okay, next here, buy a max of 2 to 3 weeks worth of inventory. Okay, so let's say your budget for supplier ABC is $2,000. Okay, I'm not going to buy $2,000 of one SKU that sells really well. Even if I will sell through all of those units within 30 days, I'm not going to do that. Here's why. This is an analogy. Let's say this is like a normal squirt water bottle, right? And I turn this upside down and water starts flowing out of that one little hole, right? I hold this, it's going to take X amount of time for that water to fall down, right? What if I put holes? Let's say there's one. Let's say I put 5 additional holes around that one. The water is going to flow even faster, right? The quickest way to scale a business and to make more money is to sell a variety of products at the exact same time. So instead of selling $2,000 of one product, sell $2,000 of 5, 6, 10 products. And so instead of waiting 30 days for all of those to sell through, it takes 2 weeks. You sell through all of that, you get your money back. And then before the end of the month, you're able to reinvest that money. Now, if you buy, multiple months worth of inventory because you want to get a certain discount, it can slow down that effect, but it may be worth it if the discount is high enough. Oftentimes, though, you're actually better off foregoing a discount and just selling quicker and less because you're able to reinvest that money that much quicker. So just keep that in mind. And then also, we do Amazon and we do Walmart. So when I'm looking at inventory, I'm combining both numbers for that purchase. So yeah, 2 to 3 weeks max is what I go with. Because if you buy a month's worth of inventory and you think you're going to sell that in a month, you're wrong. We can plan the numbers. We're close. We're usually really close, but either we're under by a little bit or we're over by a little bit and sometimes a lot. And I would rather sell through stuff quicker and then just repurchase again than buy too much and have made the mistake that now I'm sitting on inventory for 2, 3, 4 months at a time, which I have done. And then you settle. You're like, okay, this stuff sat long enough. I'm going to drop the price just to get my money back so I can use it for something else. And then you're either selling for a loss or you're not making any money. So just take the little bit that's easier and quicker so you can reuse it. Okay. So last thing here, speed is key. This is basically what I just said. Get your money churning as quick as possible. One of the first steps in that is after you've made your purchase, get your stuff selling as quick as possible. So if you're having it shipped to your house, make sure that it's prepped and shipped back out to Amazon or shipped to Walmart fulfillment services, or we use Deliverr. That way we can sell on both platforms at the exact same time through one warehouse. Do that ASAP. Time is money. You want those products available as quick as possible. So yeah, if you got to call over buddies to get that done, do it. I've paid people to prep packages because they're cheaper than Amazon, and include some pizza and beer and just make it a prepping night just to get stuff done. So those are the main steps of the process. From there, it's rinse and repeat, but with the newfound education of how things went. So we have a purchase order template that we use. And so with this, we make a copy of this for every single supplier. So I've got it broken down from Walmart, from Amazon, and then what the actual order looks like. And so we put in the link for the product, the supplier SKU. So let's say it's some Beats headphones. This is going to be the link on Walmart or on Amazon. This is going to be whatever the SKU is on whatever if I'm getting it directly from Apple, which is not happening, I can tell you that. But wherever we're getting, that's a terrible example, wherever we're getting the product, whatever they call it, that way we can just quickly search it, right? The sale price is the sale of the item on Walmart, Amazon, eBay, wherever you sell. What is that number? Our cost. With Walmart, this gets tricky because I'll explain actually once I get to Amazon. So hold on to that. Profit is basically, what is the sale price? What is the profit? When I'm using Amazon, what I'm doing is I'm running Helium 10s, their profit analyzer, whatever. I forget what it's called, profit calculator, I don't know. But whatever the number is profit-wise that they give us generally is pretty accurate, not always. But a lot of it has to do with the price, that you have. Your profit might be different. Let's say it's selling for $20, but your price ends up going up to $20 or $21 or $22. by the time it sells, which is great, right? But then your fees go up too. And so your profit might actually go down if your fees go up past what the difference of what you would have made. Or vice versa. Maybe your profit goes down, but just a little bit, even though you sold it for less. But with Amazon, that's easy because you have that tool that's able to just spit out a pretty accurate number, right? But with Walmart, if you're doing Walmart fulfillment services, like I said, we use Deliverr. You have to take Walmart's 15% fee, and then you have to figure out what the shipping costs potentially are. And there's 2 different shipping costs when you ship to Deliverr. You have to pay to ship them to Deliverr. And that you really don't know what that number is fully going to be, so you have to guesstimate. But what you do know is what it's going to cost or what Deliverr is going to charge you to fulfill that item for you. So in an example here, Deliverr has, and I'll include this link here, they have a cost calculator. And so let's take, for instance, this item here. This is a super common brand. If you were to have this fulfilled by Deliverr and they would ship it to Amazon customers and to Walmart customers, you need to know how much it's going to cost you to have them do that. If you're using the Walmart Fast Tag service, you log in here, it's generally less than standard. So like if this is $6.05, you're probably looking at $4 and some change, having it done through Walmart. If you're doing it just through Amazon, I believe you would just fall under the standard. And so you'd be looking at $6.05. So build those into your numbers. Or if you're doing Amazon FBA, for this, it might actually be cheaper just to use Amazon FBA. But as we get into unique circumstances, COVID with the holidays, you might be forced to use a service like this during specific times to where you need to know these types of numbers. But these are already taken into consideration when you're just doing FBA. But when you're doing Walmart, you have to know these numbers in addition to your cost and the 15% fee. So it's literally cost-calculator.deliverr.com, and Deliverr has 2 R's. I'll post a link in the description of this as well, so you can check out Deliverr and just see if it's right for you. That's something you have to analyze for your business, but it does make sense so far for us. Okay, so some tips here that I have for you guys. Number 1, have VAs make your price lists. If you're not provided one by your supplier, literally just have someone part-time that can run numbers for you, check the website, check prices, paste stuff in there for you. You want to use your mental energy for making educated decisions. I've been a one-man show. I've done all this myself, and I've made bad decisions because by the time I'm done processing all of this data and putting stuff into a spreadsheet, you skip steps and you're like, okay, I'm good. Let's just buy this stuff, get it over with. And then by the time the stuff arrives, you realize, oh, I miscalculated something. I messed up, or I didn't look at the chart. Now Amazon's back in stock. That's a whole nother thing there. But simplify your decision-making process. Anything that needs to be done more than one time, have somebody else do it. Don't do it yourself. Okay. Number 2, if you have, the bundling that we talked about, if you're going to do that, buy special boxes that perfectly fit your items. And if you can, try to brand that box in some way. So your company logo, some sort of wording, something that identifies you as a company that if someone jumps on your listing, you can show to Amazon. So that can be colored, or not colored, but like branded tape. So, when the flaps of the boxes meet and you put tape over that, right? Have that be your branding, or on the box itself, have a sticker or have it stamped onto your box. It will decrease your profit margins doing this. However, you will be saved in the long run because you're going to have fewer people jumping on your listings, and you're going to be able to get more of those sales. You're going to have less of a headache when you're trying to tell Amazon, like, hey, this is my listing. See, this is buy one from him. This is his box. This is my box. These are different. Next tip here, make a real effort to establish relationships. I cannot stress that enough, but I'm also not going to beat a dead horse. Relationships are everything in the real world. Anything that lasts because of people. Okay. I come from a sales background, so I'm going to preach it, but I've gotten where I'm at because of the relationships that I have with people. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Next one here, use a 3PL as soon as it makes sense. If you're just starting out, it may not make sense. You might have to go the garage route. We decked out my garage. I got a computer literally mounted to the wall. I've got foam pad down. I've got benches that fold up and down. I've got a magnetic strip for tape. I've got a whole setup for my wrap. The heat gun, it's literally a warehouse in my garage, and I still use that. you might have to do that until you are able to move on to something like this. But find out what's right for you based off of where you're at in your business. Have scripts and templates when you are applying to different accounts. So if you are applying online and they want to know your information, or they're like, hey, why should we sell to you? Or send us a message, whatever, put a little sales pitch that you've pre-written. They don't know that you've shared it with 50 other people. Use it, triple click it and paste it in there, because you're going to spend so much time writing essentially the same thing over and over and over again, when you really can just have exactly what you want and just paste it right in there. So I can, if you have any questions, I can help you guys write that stuff out, and I can share, just kind of not exactly what I say, but I can kind of give you an idea of what I say as well. All right. And then lastly here, this is super important. Use a repricer. They cost money. However, you may, if you're just clicking match the lowest price, you may at some point be actually selling for a loss and not even know it. Repricers, we use inform.co, inform.co, however you say it. It started out at like $49 a month. Now I think we actually pay like $199 a month, but we have like thousands of SKUs. So it pays for itself. This makes sense if you are, I'd say 25 to 30 SKUs or higher. Okay. If you have less than 20, don't get a repricer. Just do it yourself, but make sure you know your numbers. If you're beyond that though, you're losing sales if you're not using a repricer. We had several days where Informed has repriced, again, we have thousands of SKUs, so keep that in mind. But it's literally repriced 50,000 times in a day, sometimes more. You can't, as a human being, keep up with the price changes that happen on Amazon and on Walmart. Amazon's a little bit more, but you need to be using a repricer. You can set minimum and maximum prices for each and every product. You don't have to manually calculate all of that. They have formulas. You can just put in your cost and figure out, do I want to base this off of my ROI, base this off of a margin? Do I want to make a set dollar amount per unit? You can do all of that. There's a lot of really cool things. The reason we use Informed, though, is because we do Amazon and Walmart, and we were selling on Amazon and Walmart before repricers were even going the direction of Walmart. Informed really helped pave the way for this. Since then, though, there's been several others that are taking to Walmart, and I'm going to be honest, I just haven't looked into them, but I know they exist. My motto, at least for right now, is if it's not broke, don't fix it. But when it comes to the technology for stuff like this, it would actually be advantageous to at least look into some of these. So I know what they are. OA Genius, for instance, we do drop shipping, and OA Genius, the way that they explain their repricing, it sounds like they're actually quite a bit faster than some of these other ones, which can make a pretty big impact on your business, especially from a drop shipping point of view. And Informed has been reliable, but I know it's not the fastest, which can be costing us money. So I am aware of that. But as far as some of the glitchiness that some others have had, Informed has done as well, which is why I'm not in a rush to leave them. But I do recognize there could be something better out there. Some of the other ones, Repaid was one that I was actually very interested in. It's like Repaid, but with a B instead of a P. Repricer.com, most people are familiar with them. And then Geek Seller is another one. This list is Amazon and Walmart both. So let's wrap this up here. What are some tools that I use through wholesaling that have really helped out my business? Monday.com is phenomenal. You can build your price lists in there. You can manage your VAs, your schedules, tasks. There's so much you can do with it. It's way too much to explain, but check out Monday.com. It's very, very useful. Loom, if you're explaining processes to virtual assistants. If you work with anybody other than yourself, Loom, that's what I'm making this video with. Super useful. It's, all your videos are in the cloud. It's just a matter of sharing a link as opposed to downloading any content. As far as getting into the most essentials, if I had to pick one of these, it's going to be Helium 10 or Jungle Scout. I'm a big fan of both. I've got links that I can share with you guys for those. If I had to pick one over the other, I'm going to go Team Helium 10, but that's my preference just through, what we use Helium 10 for. Scan Unlimited, use it if you need it. If you don't need it, it's expensive for what it does. It saves a lot of time if you have a lot of spreadsheets. If you have only a couple, you pay the $50 that it is per month. You go through 3 spreadsheets and then you don't use it again for like a couple months. And so what I do is when I have a bunch, I'll pay the membership fee. I'll use it a bunch and then I'll just cancel until I need to really use it again. And they do allow you to use, I think it's 3 scans a month for free. So, I use the free ones quite frequently. And then when I know I'm going to have a lot, then I'll pay for it. But I don't pay for it nonstop. The product order template, I'm going to share this with you guys. Just make a copy of it. But I'll put a link for you to be able to access that as well. And then use a repricer, whichever one you want to use, research and compare different ones, but you definitely want one of those as well. So those are all the tools that help my wholesaling business, or the wholesaling side of my business, I should say, because, we have private label products. We do wholesale and we also do drop shipping. So, and we have a CBD line. So there's a lot going on. But as far as wholesaling goes, these are the main resources that we use. So I hope this was informative to you guys. Like this video, drop a comment if you have any questions. If you have something that you use, perhaps any of these softwares, or there's a process that you found effective, go ahead and share that with others. I'm all about giving. This is stuff that's helped me, and you can go the easy route, or you can actually try to make a difference, and it takes a little bit more work. But if you're willing to do that, you're going to see a greater amount of success. And so I want to just stress that. That's why I'm sharing as much of this as I am, so that you don't just go with what's easiest, but you see, in an organized way, how to be better, how to do better, because it's going to pay off so much more for your business. That is all I have for this video, you guys. Again, this is Glomsky Commerce. If you like any of this stuff, share it with friends and family. I'd really like to grow this YouTube channel to be able to help as many people as possible. I don't have a course. I'm not after your money. I really just want to share what's worked for me and my team. That is all I have for you guys. Have a good day, and until next time, peace.